Good evening.
Good evening.
We wait until this one is ready for us to come through yet again. In his earthly terms, he thinks it's been quite a while for us. It is not. Relative it is to this existence you have in human form. This meat suit you wear as the one who giggles all the time to remind you of. For did not the dear one you call Brenda tell you she shed her meat suit and felt so free again? The dear one you listened to this week, Suzanne, reminds you you walk in both worlds. This veil is thin. But only if you allow it to be thin for you, dear ones. You can put up your walls, your fears, judging yourself, you always are, on how well you can connect. Be it in the way this one is doing, or in your mediumship, or just asking your guides for questions and answers. Those are your constructs, dear ones. They are not ours. We are always with you, always around you. As you have become so aware this week, these past few days, have not the lights gone on in some of you? Some ahas? Just as this one stepped away for a while. Do not get caught up in your too much to-dos. You walk in both worlds. Honor both worlds. Yes, do your human things, but do honor your spiritual side. Give yourself time in the silence. Just because you sit and do not, quote unquote, get answers does not mean you are not gaining from sitting in the silence. for you are that too. Do not forget that. You arose from it, and you will return to it. Individual expressions, you all see us differently. You all interact with us in different ways. What is an aha to one is a ho-hum to another. We laugh, but there is much truth in that statement, dear ones. We talk of resonance. For what one resonates with, another necessarily does not. Have you not heard? And I'm sure this is not old news, but there are many paths. There are many ways to stray from the path also. A breaching. Dear Brenda wishes to remind you of Jane's story of the cross. Not one nudge, not two nudges, not three nudges, not four. It took many nudges for dear Jane to listen. Your guides, dear ones, are talking to you all the time. That is why sitting in the silence is so beneficial. For only when you can quiet your human side down enough can you hear our whispers, our nudges, our God winks, these snags. This one. Snagged by a feather he was. Because he was, as the wristband says, aware at the moment we put that in front of him. And you are all the same. Feathers are laid at your feet for you to notice or not. He feels this. He feels when we draw close, he feels his scalp tingle. The back of his head. We felt some resistance in him. He knew we were gathering for this weekend. So what do we talk of now, dear ones? We talk of being receptive. We talk of surrender. And in this case, we say, you surrender your humanness for a while, for us to make an appearance, so to speak. So you may hear these words, and we ask that you do more than hear them, dear ones. We ask that you feel them with your heart. Spending too much time in your heads, in your humanness, is not the path to contact us with, dear ones. It is through your heart. Open your hearts. And let love step in. For we are no more than what you are. Love. An expression of love. He carries these cards around them, reluctant to give them away, thinking he is not worthy of this mediumship. And yet the very saying on the back says, living our very essence, love. L-O-V-E. Yes, this one likes the acronyms too, like the commander. Follow. Follow what brings you joy. Follow what lights up your heart. Sit with us, be it in the silence or journaling. There are some here that need to journal. That need to experience the flow, how do we say, to witness. How the flow, as you write words on paper, how you can start out in your head and wind up in your heart. And you can feel it in the page of written words, how it changes when you go back and read them. There's a transition when you shift out of your mental constructs and into your heart and let the words flow perfectly from your being. For you are love, dear ones. That is your essence. That is what you arose from. That is what you will always be. You step into this human existence shock it is when you realize where you are. This one has walked this earth many times. Getting lost in your humanness. You have met people who have been lost in their humanness. Is that not why you discuss this term awakening so often? Each of you in this room. Have been led to awaken. To pay more attention to your spiritual side, your soul side, your love side. Dear ones, allow your love light to shine. Yes, we understand you walk in two worlds. All we ask is that you do not forget the one that you came from, dear ones. The love that birthed you, the love that is you, that love that expresses as you. For you are that, and we are that, and we are all one. Different expressions? Yes. But the same source. That's why this human experience is such a training ground for you, such a learning. Because just by entering these meat suits, you see separation, you feel separation. Yet the more your scientists look into these things, the more they realize how interconnected they all are. How this energy that emanates from you, surrounds you, does not end at your skin. Did not you practice that this week? Expanding. Opening your aura up even wider. Resting in the Merkaba. Focus. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you can, you will. And we say that. When you believe you can from your heart, not from your head. Do not get caught up in the mechanics. This one sitting upstairs, no internet connection. Oh my, I can't listen to my song. This isn't going to work. Throw him a little curve today, did we not? You can make this work. You know how to do this. You don't need these props. Yes, they bring you comfort. But what is being comforted? Your head, not your heart. Open. Take a moment each day to sit and just be open to whatever comes. Be open. Surrender to just allowing. Do not do it. This one just try to do. Oh, this is the song I have to hear before this starts. So, boop. We take the internet connection and just, there you go. You got 4 words. You're done. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to stay open? Are you going to walk down there and sit amongst your friends and allow this to happen? Or are you going to freak out? Close up and shut down. See, even in this state, we can feel some resistance in him. And that is just part of the process. You don't magically walk into the kitchen one day and know how to make a great lasagna, do you? But you must start. You must try. You must keep on entering that kitchen and learn and grow. And allow yourself to be open to receiving your true nature. So many of you are so good at giving. And waffle a little bit on the receiving part. Open yourself. Yes, continue to give, but open yourself. Embrace the receiving. Embrace. There are lessons in the trials. There are lessons in the losses. This one knows that well. Perspective. How the greatest loss in his life is the gift that woke him up. That jarred him out of his humanness long enough to realize, oh my, there's a lot more going on here than I ever realized. And yes, we speak in the first person for him for this. For he knows this teaching well. He knows it changed his whole journey in this meat suit. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question? Quiet bunch, you all.
Everybody's thinking about it.
I have a question. I want to know how I can gain more confidence in my healing abilities.
If not, we've been discussing that already, dear one. Set time for yourself. Sit in the silence. Ask. And know that even if you do not immediately, quote unquote, in your humanness, get an answer, do not get caught up in the fact that you haven't got the answer. Stay open. Like we told you, open your heart. Stay aware. We remind you, as he walked up those steps the other night, the two beside him never saw the hawk feather laying on the ground. Never heard the word raven as he picked it up in his head. The difference was openness, awareness. Sitting in the silence will allow you to be more aware during your so-called humanist time. Again, we say, you work. You work at it, just as you would in the kitchen, working on perfecting that recipe. And do not, he shrugs, he shirks when we go to say this. Do not be scared to fail. Do not be concerned. It's like cooking. So you burn the pot. Throw it out, you start over again. You're going to eat dinner. But don't be so hard on yourselves either. It's easy in your humanness. You've always been taught, especially in this society, in this country, to strive and strive and strive and be the best. You honor those who show achievement in sports or in cooking or anything, that have achieved a notoriety for being so excellent at what they do. But there is an effort that each and every one of them have put into that, dear ones. There is an openness to try and try again. Okay, I wasn't as good as I wanted to be in that reading. But you sat and you brought through something. And yes, she did talk of scoring these readings this week, did she not? But do not let that kind that path inhibit you. Allow it to propel you, to move you. Again, we talk of this shifting between the head and the heart. Your head gets too involved. I'm not doing it well enough. I'm not doing it right enough. I don't have the right song to begin. I can't do it without the right song. Seriously, dear ones. How we look at that and we just laugh. You set these arbitrary constraints around yourself. You get caught up in your humanness in this time. Did not he just say this to some sitting there when they asked him, "Oh, I haven't done this for a long time." To us, it was just a blink of an eye. To him, oh, jeez, it's been months and months and months. So, try again. If you feel drawn to it, if you feel heart-led to it, again we say stay out of the head for this stuff. Your head, all it will do is throw a bunch of crap in the pot, and that's what you're going to get. It's not going to mix it with love. It's not going to add a dash of this and a pinch of that and cook it at just the right temperature. That is done with care. That is done with love. That is done from the heart. And so it is with your mediumship, your channeling, whichever, just sitting and talking with your God, sitting in meditation. Sitting in the silence. Find what works for you. This one, sometimes you need to balance this. He needs to keep his human side involved, so to speak. So he uses a meditation app. It tickles his fancy, so to speak, when he can see that he has done so many days in a row. But we tell you, dear ones, it keeps him engaged. It keeps him saying, even on those days when he gets too much in the head, and he says, oh, maybe I can skip today. It gives him something to hold on to and say, no, I don't want to skip today. I want to take that time for me. Be flexible. Find the quiet time of the day that works for you. Make an appointment with yourself. To honor yourself, to honor your soul, to honor your spiritual side. Again, we speak of this balance. You've heard of that this week. We would say the vast majority of your friends way out of whack on the human side. Don't pay attention to the signals they get, whether they be from your body even, that you're pushing too hard, working too long, stressing too much. Take time for you, dear ones. Set aside a piece of each day just for you, to honor yourself, to love yourself, to let yourself blossom, let your love grow. If it works for you, take notes. Even if they are just mental notes. This one, when it first started happening in him, he would listen to music driving down the freeway. This feeling of love would well in him. His body would get covered with these God bumps, these goosebumps, these truth shivers. In the beginning, he would turn off the air conditioner on a summer's day because he was so cold. These feelings had flowed through him that he did not yet understand, did not realize the changes that were brewing in him. The spiritual ride he was about to begin. For he had already been on the roller coaster, so to speak. And the cars had been moving for a while before he even realized it had gotten started. But then you want that feeling again, do you not? And we tell you that when you wish to practice, when you wish to grow your spiritual side, come from the heart. Rest in your heart and open your heart. For your mind does not like being put on the shelf for a while and likes to butt in and wants to yank you out of that. One of the teachers this one admires that walked on this earth. Said that you must learn to lovingly treat your ego like a puppy. You have to train it to sit aside when you want to work with us. And it knows you will let it come out and play and cause havoc in your life yet again. But this havoc we talk of, each what is havoc? Is it a teaching moment? Or is it truly havoc? How do you look at it? How do you perceive it? Challenge yourself. One of the teachings that has served this one well is when you feel out of sorts, so to speak, feel anger, feel angst, feel any emotion that does not sit comfortably with you. Rise above. For him, this is, or shall we say, has become an easier exercise for him. Where he can picture himself looking down. Going, your higher self, call it what you will. But again, we speak of perspective. You put constraints on yourself. You wish you were advancing quicker, you wish you were advancing better, you wish you could do this and that and the other thing. What are those? That's your head getting in the way. It's your head telling you, you are not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not quick enough, you're not doing this right, you need to do it this way. Come from love. Open your heart. Stay open. Did not she tell you this week to respond with love? Do not meet anger with anger. Do not meet jealousy with jealousy. That's why sitting in the silence is so important, because you can take that moment instead of doing a knee-jerk reaction and just plowing in with an angry response. Pause. Habits. Are not some of these reactions you have just habits? You hear a cross word, you feel threatened, you feel assaulted, attacked. Take a moment with yourself in that instance and say, I choose to respond in a different way today. I choose the way of the heart. I choose the way of the Master Teacher. I choose love. For you are that, dear ones. You are love. The very essence of it in expression. No matter what befalls you, that is who and what you will ever be. We so love you, dear ones. We so love when you gather like this. We see your lights shining ever brighter from this weekend. Everyone in this room was touched at some point. Their light was raised. And it shall not dim. We thank you, we love you, we appreciate you. And we tell you once again, dear ones, you are loved beyond words. And we bid you adieu.
We love you too, Sam. We're glad to see you back. And we love our dear Keith for allowing. the communication.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah.